our top 30 MLS players. We start, though, apologies in advance, with Neymar. Let's take a look, shall we, at what has been said, the rumours over the last 24 hours. Now, this is what was supposed to be happening. Apparently, he was going to fly from China to Paris to complete move. That then changed. Apparently, he arrived in Dubai to undergo a PSG medical. That then changed from him travelling to Brazil from Dubai to dispel doubt about his future. Then he was supposed to be returning to Barcelona from Dubai to meet with his father and his entourage to make the final
happened to
decision.
Brazil? No, Brazil?
Well, no, Brazil's been taken out of the... But here's where we are at the moment. With regards to Neymar, he will return to training in Barcelona tomorrow. What sort of reception would he get? Wanted traitor, the poster reads, along with a picture of Neymar's face. Mercenaries out of Barcelona, only players who love the shirt. It's a bit like a lost dog poster, but that's all right. This is what the PSG president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, said. Today, Neymar is a Barcelona player, and we will see what happens with him. I prefer not to speak about this right now. I hope to another time, though. No percentages either, each thing in its own time.
Oh, very clear.
Look, it's going to happen, let's face it. At some stage, throughout all of this talk and rumours and speculation, you feel the move will happen. Paul Mariner, I don't feel I've heard your view yet as to what you make of the switch.
Well, you can see what it's turned into, Dan. It's a bit of a laughingstock. You know, we're making fun of it. It's such a shame that such a fantastic footballer, his name has been dragged through the mud. Now, for what reason? It's purely and simply because of this move.
Would you move, Maris?
Dan, how can you not move? 220...
Because you're playing for Barcelona, you're at one of the best clubs in the world, you've got more chance of winning trophies at Barcelona than PSG, you can still win the Ballon d'Or if you win the Champions League and then World Cup with Brazil.
Who do you believe? Do you believe what you've just said? And that makes a perfectly good case. Or do you believe Neymar, he wants to go and, you know, make a legacy for himself at PSG?
Can he not do that at Barcelona?
Yes, he can.
So what's the problem?
But the whole point, money.
Is that it?
I think it's money. I think it's a part about being making his own legacy at PSG. That's what I think. I think it's a shame that such a great player has dragged his name through the mud. Will there be a resolution for it? I don't know. I mean, for him going back into training tomorrow at Barcelona...
It'd be lovely.
Well, it's going to be embarrassing. I mean, I don't know if it's ever happened to any of you lads when you've had to, you know...
Training for Shaq was embarrassing most days.
Regardless. For free. But I did that for free.
But it's sad, Dan, when such a great player's name is being dragged through the mud like this. And we're making fun and laughing at it. It's sad.
What else are we going to do? He's going to be extraordinarily rich.
Yeah, but look, whichever camp you're in, whether you're in the Neymar move to PSG camp or whether you're in the stay at Barcelona camp, it doesn't really matter because the lad now has got to go and prove himself. If he stays at Barca, which I think is going to be very difficult...
Well, he's made his own bed. It's not like it's...
But OK, so if they meet the buyout clause... Yes. Then... And they say, yeah, OK, he's going. He's going.
No, he's not, because the buyout clause just gives you the opportunity to talk to the player. Then it's down to the player to negotiate terms.
It looks as though he's leaning towards going to PSG.
So it's his choice, so why are we crying about it?
I'm not crying about it.
You just said it's sad.
It is sad because a great player's been dragged through the mud.
By the way, Neymar, according to Paul Mariner, has been dragged through the mud about 5 times.
I know. Goodness gracious me. Let's talk about another player who looks like he will be leaving Spain. Neymar, of course, to PSG. Seems to be now, Gab, an inevitability.
Yeah, I think we've been saying that for the last couple of days. In some ways, I think the Miami Clasico sort of sealed that. You know, the key date. Everybody's saying that it'll happen early in August. Well, so that time is just about upon us. I think Barcelona have pretty much accepted the fact, and now they're figuring out what direction to move in, and maybe even turn, you know, Neymar's departure into a positive or at least less of a negative.
I know we're going over old ground slightly here, boys. You discussed this at length while you're in Florida. But just to put it on the table, you don't think this is the best idea for Neymar, Annie?
No, I do not. I don't think that Neymar should settle on the idea that I'm playing second fiddle to Lionel Messi. And I've established time and time again that there's nothing wrong to playing second fiddle or be second to perhaps the best player in the history of the game. if you can allow yourself to just be objective and see the big picture, if you're Neymar, and say, get past the money, get past the idea of being the guy, the number one, and just understand the benefits of playing alongside a guy like Messi and Luis Suarez and what that does for your own game, then you can have the best of both worlds. You cannot have the pressure that Lionel Messi will always have. You'll score goals, you'll win trophies, and when you want that pressure, you go and play for Brazil and be the captain of that national team. What else do you want? You can have it both ways if you stay at Barcelona. If you go to PSG, I think you're taking a step back.
Financially, this is the best decision for Neymar. Professionally, no. And as much as you are playing second fiddle, for the time being, to the best player of a generation, I think it's only a matter of time before Neymar inherits that crown and he becomes the best player on the planet and leading Barcelona to continued glory. I also think there's value in the long term, in staying at one club for what is effectively all of your career, in Neymar's case, let's say, how that then translates to other benefits post-retirement, ambassador of the club. There are a number of things that come in return that I think maybe he's not quite seeing or focusing on right now.
Quickly, John, what do you think?
I think he's got the choice between being extremely rich or absurdly rich. And I think it's an absurd decision to choose to be absurdly rich in this case.
Which did you choose, John?
I would just choose extremely rich.
Okay, well,
you settled for extremely rich.
I've settled for extremely rich, although there's sort of relativity to all of this, which means that extremely sort of okay rather than absurdly okay, I think in my case.
Barcelona fans, we're sad to see him go if indeed he does go to PSG. Real Madrid fans and indeed players will be elated. Sergio Ramos, very frank, saying, I changed shirts with Neymar and I hope it will be his last at Barcelona, as it would mean us getting rid of a problem. In the big games, he makes the difference. And he does. When you take a look at last season, particularly that PSG clash, he was the man that took them back from the brink to lead them into the next round. Where did Barcelona go from here? Because it's not like, yes, you've got 220 million, but it's not like you can go out and spend it on a Neymar replacement.
And it's not that the recent history of Barcelona really gives us the security and the understanding that they can actually make the right decision. Because André Gómez is not a Barcelona player, because Denis Suarez is not a guy. And Paco Alcácer and Alex Vidal and this guy and that guy. So you look at the decision that they have made to strengthen the club in the past, it hasn't quite worked out over the last year and a half. And then you say, okay, then what's out there? What can be Neymar like? And so in terms of what's out there, you think maybe Coutinho could be an answer. And maybe you go in that direction. Barcelona has to be very careful that they're not letting a window close on them, because players, as we have discussed from that PSG series that you just mentioned, they're getting older. Busquets is getting older. Iniesta is getting older. The legs are getting older. And now you need a new generation. And while Real Madrid is getting a new generation of younger talent coming in, that's not happening with Barcelona.
Gab, when it comes to Neymar's replacement, of course, there's quite a few names doing the rounds. Coutinho in particular, Dybala, Antoine Griezmann mentioned in Sport, in the Catalan newspaper. For you, who is the target at the moment that looks most likely to make the move to the Camp Nou?
I think the most likely options in terms of moving this summer are two. I think it's Coutinho, who they're going to take a run at, but obviously Liverpool know that they can jack up the price, a lot like Red Bull did with Naby Keita when the shoe was on the other foot. I think the other one, and I think in the end, if the two teams reach a deal, and like I said, not going the buyout clause route would be beneficial to both teams. If they can do that, I think somebody like Angel Di Maria, remembers relationship with Lionel Messi, would be welcome for his versatility, at least at the Camp Nou. And obviously, I would imagine they're going to take a run at Marco Verratti as well, who's changed agents, even though now he professes his love for PSG. It wasn't that long ago he was seeing it from a different hymn sheet. So I think there's still scope to do something. Beyond that, they'll have money left over to go and bring in a real A-lister too.